he won, this fight with Lomachenko, then he just say anything out of his mouth, So I think sometimes people get big-headed, and they forget. But he did what he had to do.
Gervonta Davis has taken brutal shots at Teofimo Lopez on Live. Lopez defended his title against Steve Claggett this weekend. Speculation about a potential showdown with Haney looms as The Takeover emerged victorious. However, The New Yorker suggests that a clash against Tank Davis would provide a more visually appealing bout. Haney currently holds the title of WBC super lightweight champion in recess due to his recent match with Ryan Garcia in April, which was declared a no contest when Garcia tested positive for performance-enhancing substances. Lopez said of Haney, "He is nowhere near any picture. He has been helped a lot in many ways. They wanted to make him seem like he is the greatest. I don't hate the kid. I'm not knocking him down." Lopez added that when he lost to George Kambosos Jr., Devin and his father were jumping up and down celebrating. However, when Devin lost to Garcia, Lopez did not react the same way. Instead, he simply accepted it and wished Devin nothing but the best, understanding what it feels like to lose. He added, "I believe Haney is someone who reaches a certain level in life and is going to stay there forever. I have already proved I am a level above Haney without having to fight him. I don't need to face this guy. He has just lost." Lopez, expressing his desire to someday fight in the UK, isn't underestimating Canadian Claggett. He emphasizes his preference for challenging bouts, driven by his pursuit of greatness. The 26-year-old said, "I have got a tough competitor ahead of me. He is hungry. It is almost like a Rocky Balboa story for this guy. I can't overlook anybody. He does not stop throwing punches. He has everything to gain. I have everything to lose. I always pick the toughest fights. My resume speaks loudly." Lopez added that one cannot claim to be arguably the best in the world without facing the best. He argued that it's not possible to call oneself the Muhammad Ali of this generation without accomplishing what Muhammad Ali did, nor can one be considered a throwback fighter without facing and overcoming adversity. Lopez emphasized that if he made such claims without backing them up, he would be a hypocrite and it would be talking smack rather than speaking the truth. He further mentioned, "I am only getting better. I am not at my prime just yet, but we are reaching it. I think that's the best part. I aim for greatness and I always have. The tremendous amount of fighters I have faced already at a young age because of those champions and their styles, I have only got better." It appears that Teofimo Lopez wants all the smoke. He added, "Who would I be if I didn't face the best? That is the only way I become greater." In a previous interview, Lopez remarked that his sights are now set on Terence Crawford, a two-time undisputed world champion. Crawford's recent victory over Errol Spence Jr., where he forced Spence to the canvas 3 times before securing a TKO in the 9th round, solidified his position as the welterweight division's undisputed champion. Teofimo currently holds the WBO championship in a weight division just shy of Bud's. However, there's a twist in the narrative. Crawford is stepping up to 154 pounds to take on WBA title holder Israel Madrimov on August 2nd. Will Lopez follow suit and leap to 154? The clock is ticking, with Crawford turning 37 in September, adding urgency to the decision-making process. Lopez, shifting focus from Crawford, now sets his sights on challenging the star of the lightweight scene, Gervonta Davis. Boldly, he directly addresses the undefeated boxer with a notable record of 30, 0, and 28 knockouts, currently holding the WBA lightweight title, in a tone that borders on dismissive. The question looms, can Lopez handle the weight fluctuations necessary to face off against both Crawford and Tank in their distinct weight classes?
Because, but you gotta learn how to balance the emotions. Emotion is a different kind of schooling, I'll tell you that. But then going back to it, I tried to fight Isaac Cruz, they said no. Sabrina Matias complained about his hand, but now he's fighting in June. I'm fighting in June. We could have made the fight happen. They didn't want it. And then after that, Devin Haney had that situation with Ryan Garcia. Boom. So there's nobody else, really.
Lopez exuded unwavering confidence in the build-up to his bout, gracefully fielding media inquiries. Rather than dwelling on his imminent match against a 35-year-old Canadian journeyman with a checkered record, the spotlight pivoted predictably towards his future aspirations. In a candid interview with Fight Hub TV leading up to his title defense clash with Steve Claggett, Lopez articulated his ambitious blueprint for what lies ahead. When asked about who he would want to fight next, Lopez told the media house, "The big dog, the Mac Daddy of them all, and that's Terence Blood Crawford." Knowing that Crawford will be on his way out of the boxing business soon, Lopez confidently stated, "I'll go up to 54. I'll go up to weight classes. It's been done. Why can't I do it?" Sensing disbelief in one of the reporters, he further emphasized, "Now you don't believe it. I like it. Put your whole house in it so I can take it from you." His first challenge would be against Crawford, followed by a descent in weight to confront the diminutive powerhouse Gervonta Davis. He added, "I will take Crawford first, because Crawford is on his way out. Get him first, he's the lineal champion. Still, we take him out, and then we go back to the little mini-me, and that's Tank." Lopez has demonstrated his willingness to face top contenders in the division. In October 2020, he challenged the highly skilled and elite fighter Lomachenko, who held the WBA and WBO belts at the time. Lopez emerged victorious via a points decision, thereby becoming the unified world lightweight champion. In the super lightweight division last year, he secured the WBO super lightweight title by defeating Josh Taylor through a unanimous decision. Lopez notably became the first professional boxer to defeat Taylor, who had previously held undisputed status at super lightweight. In contrast to the formidable and talented opponents he has encountered before, he is set to fight Canadian boxer Claggett at the James L. Knight Center in Miami, Florida. Following a controversial and lackluster unanimous decision win over Jermaine Ortiz in his recent bout, he's opted for a less challenging opponent this time to regain his confidence. This strategic move precedes his pursuit of top-tier competition in the boxing world. As Teofimo Lopez defeated Steve Claggett this weekend, Bob Arum has acknowledged that the New York fighter has a number of significant battles ahead of him. A strong defense for Lopez can make room for players like Terrence Crawford, Ryan Garcia, and Gervonta Davis. Arum, Lopez's promoter, who has guided him to many memorable wins, believes that Brian Norman could be next for Lopez after the Claggett fight. If Lopez decides to move up to 147 pounds, the American youngster, who currently holds the WBO interim champion title at welterweight, could be his ideal opponent. Bob Arum said, "We've had Lopez all of his career, and I think there are a lot of big fights out there for him, but Claggett is not an easy fight for him. I think the Crawford one would be a good fight down the line, but the fight we make first is Teofimo against Brian Norman, who is the WBO welterweight at 147. Teofimo Lopez is a character that splits opinions. He has both hot and cold blows as a combatant. However, he may be fantastic when he blows hot. When he first began fighting, being the best was all that mattered, not the consequences of having a prosperous career." Lopez said, "I never did it for fame. I never did it for the purpose of popularity. I did it just to be the best fighter in the world. As a young kid, I wanted to be the best fighter in the boxing game. That's it. No, one of everything. And look at this. I'm only 26. The other guys that they're rooting for, like Inu, Crawford, and them, they're on their way out or they're in their 30s already. I'm a baby, and look how much I've done in the landscape." Lopez added that he is a two-time lineal world champion at just 25 years old, having achieved everything faster and earlier than his peers. He expressed indifference to others' opinions, stating that people can say and do what they want. For him, it's all about competition, and he looks forward to being the best version of himself in his upcoming fight and future matches. He emphasized that he is ready for whatever is planned for him in September and December. Fame, a byproduct of success, also brings added strain. It entails not only loss of privacy, but also enduring intrusion on social media and constant accessibility to trolls. Despite this, Lopez is content to bear this burden and even asserts that he embraces it. He said, "You've got to realize everything has a price. Everything," he said. "When you become the best, obviously there's people out there that's going to recognize the best, so you have to understand. I don't like to say that I'm famous. That's something that I don't like to do because I don't believe I'm famous." Lopez further added that he believes he is the best fighter in the world. He noted that if others see this belief as fame, he doesn't know what else to tell them. He emphasized that this is part of the journey, explaining that upcoming fighters and those aspiring to reach the top must understand that this is what comes with the territory. He added, "You have to be prepared for every type of angle. You cannot just be the best and say, 'I'm going to have peace in my life.' No, you're going to be the best and you're going to have peace, but you're going to have peace amongst the people. You have to learn how to orchestrate it the best way. It's like music, like a violin. You have to know how to play your tunes, and that's what it is." Lopez then mentioned that he dedicates his time to various events, whether they are boxing events, Top Rank, or ESPN events. He also makes time for outside promoters and different networks. The reason he does this, he explained, is because people come to watch them fight. He believes the least he can do is give back to those who have paid to see them. He further revealed, "I think that's the true essence of humanity. It's the true essence of the people's champ, and it's the true essence of why Muhammad Ali was and is to this day the greatest of all time. He understood that, and I'm just someone that wants to bring that back." Despite securing career-defining victories against Vasily Lomachenko and Josh Taylor, thus dominating the 135 and 140-pound divisions, Lopez finds himself in a position where the realm of dream matches appears limitless. Spanning from 135 to 147 pounds, a plethora of potential opponents awaits, including Gervonta Davis, Liam Perro, Devin Haney, Shakur Stevenson, and Isaac Pitbull Cruz. However, Lopez is not aware of any of the aforementioned. There is just one fighter on his wish list. He said, "I believe the only one I have left to cement my legacy in that degree and get that triple crown that I'm aiming for. And the reason why I came back to add even more to my legacy is Terence Crawford and having earned all of the belts at 147. Lopez expressed his desire to have Terence Crawford on his resume, highlighting that he wants to demonstrate to the world why he is not just number one, but the best fighter they've seen in a long time. What about his contemporaries? What about the names within and around his weight class who could solidify his legacy and bring him more opportunities, like Davis, Stevenson, and Haney? In this era, the possibility of a four-king-style round robin exists. These fights have been feasible for years. However, Lopez prioritizes Crawford and desires nothing else of significant importance after facing Bud. Lopez currently sees himself as the proactive fighter resurrecting the ethos of the Four Kings: Marvin Hagler, Ray Leonard, Tommy Hearns, and Roberto Duran, while expecting others to match his pace. He said, "I think I'm the only one that stood on the Four Kings emblem. I believe I faced all lineal world champions and undisputed champions. They have yet to fight those types of fighters, despite the Haney and Garcia situation. Look how it flipped on them. So I can't really say those guys are something that I'm angling for." Moreover, Lopez added that he feels he is on a different path compared to others in boxing. He pointed out the accolades he has already achieved, noting that he could potentially retire today and be inducted into the Hall of Fame in 3 to 5 years, even before turning 30. However, he emphasized his love for the sport and his determination to continue aiming higher, stating that he is headed north and has no intention of letting go of boxing just yet. He said, "I believe the 140-pound division. They have their agenda with these fighters, and I'm not going to say I'm going up to 147 right away. I'm just saying, if we don't get these unification bouts because of whatever reason that these promoters are doing with their fighters, they want to be safe with them because it is a gamble when you face Teofimo. Come on, look at it." Lopez then elaborated on his approach to facing opponents who come to compete rather than just evade. He emphasized that true boxing and fighting involve facing styles that engage and require doing one's best. Reflecting on criticisms he's faced for fights where opponents choose to avoid engagement, he shared that he sought advice from former champions like Roy Jones, Antonio Tarver, and Roberto Duran.
Be too kind to them, bro. I'm gonna be honest with y'all, man. These guys are so over the head, man. They're at this point where they take my kindness as weakness. In reality, I'm just trying to follow the way of Jesus, bro. Because if I did lean on my own understanding, I probably wouldn't be here sitting with y'all. Be real with y'all. Because but you got to learn how to balance the emotions.
They reassured him that the difficulty in stopping fighters who refuse to engage is not solely his responsibility. Lopez acknowledged the challenges and pressures that come with such situations, but expressed his readiness to embrace them, seeing it as part of the journey he anticipated facing eventually. Lopez then said, "I asked Roberto Duran. I asked a lot of them, and they told me, it's not your fault that this guy Jamaine Ortiz fought the way he did. It's a really difficult task to stop a guy that doesn't stop to engage. Whether the pressure's on me or not, I like it. This is what comes with it. It's something I told myself would happen eventually one day, and today's that time." Lopez emanates pure self-assurance. He polarized opinions, yet exudes a magnetic charm. Today's fighters face relentless scrutiny. One lackluster performance and they're overhyped. One knockdown and they're deemed chinny. One failure to adapt and they're labeled as unable to adjust. Anything short of sensational is seldom comprehended, much less appreciated. When Lopez faced Ortiz in February, momentum faltered. Despite his impressive bout with Taylor last year, it seemed inconsequential now. Lopez's prowess was judged solely by his latest performance. Naturally, he perceives his career differently, but struggles to comprehend his disappointing showing against Ortiz. He said, "Who knows? They could have done a lot of things to this kid. Maybe it's just my power. We all expected the same guy that fought Lomachenko to face us. I believe everyone expected that. You know, even the matchmakers. They don't put these types of fights like Bruce Trampler and Brad Goodman. They don't put these types of fighters with me without expecting a great show and a great outing. And they've done it through my whole career." Lopez added that while the outcome may have been surprising, he couldn't definitively say it slowed down his momentum, given the strong ticket sales and support from fans eager to see him fight in Florida. He acknowledged that in boxing, some opponents may strategize to make their opponents look bad rather than to win outright. If that was the case with his opponent, they achieved some of their goal, but not entirely. With a convincing victory over Steve Claggett, one of boxing's biggest names will be back in the spotlight. Meanwhile, Lopez has claimed that Tank is eyeing up a fight with a boxer he has already beaten. After a 14-month break, Tank made his ring comeback this month, defeating Frank Martin in just 8 rounds, and he plans to stay active. He's already in negotiations to challenge Vasyl Lomachenko, for the lightweight world titles held by the WBA and IBF respectively. Lopez insists that Davis will rematch Isaac Cruz in the near future, despite Lopez himself being overlooked by Pitbull. Lopez informed the Danza Project that he attempted to schedule a fight with Isaac Cruz, but Cruz's manager expressed a preference to pursue a rematch with Gervonta Davis after winning the belt. Lopez straightforwardly stated his position, saying he's telling it like it is and not apologizing for it.
And I dislike fellas like this because they're like, because of the power that they were possessed with, you know what I mean? Like, men try to aim for power all the time. And I'm sorry that I'm prologuing my Steve Claggett fight.
Nah.
But I gotta educate y'all on this. I tried to fight Isaac Cruz and I spoke to his manager. They just said, whoa. Not yet. We just got the belt, champ. We gotta go and focus on trying to get a Gervonta Davis rematch. So y'all gonna see that very soon, by the way. Yeah, I'm saying it like it is. I'm sorry. I'm not sorry. So y'all wasn't sorry with me, and I gave people many chances, man.
By a unanimous vote in December 2021, Davis defeated Cruz. After claiming the WBA super lightweight crown from Rolly Romero in March, the Mexican boxer is now in a much stronger position to push for a rematch with Tank. Cruz's manager, Sean Gibbons, stated that promoter Manny Pacquiao is eager to arrange the rematch with Davis in December. Gibbons told Boxing Scene, "December is perfect. We're not chasing Tank now that we have the belt, but everywhere we go, everyone wants to know when we're fighting Gervonta Davis. He'll fight, then Pitbull will fight, and we'll be ready." With the Cruz fight and all other potential paths to a unification bout unavailable for Lopez, Steve Claggett was chosen as his next opponent. As we know, Teofimo Lopez successfully defended his WBO junior welterweight title on Saturday night in Miami, securing a unanimous decision victory over Steve Claggett. Many anticipated a stoppage win for Lopez. However, the resilient Canadian contender Claggett battled until the 12th round for the first time in his career. He secured only one round on the 3 scorecards, while Lopez landed a career-high 315 punches. Lopez mentioned during his post-fight press conference that it had been a tough fight. He emphasized that the focus wasn't on skills, but on willpower and physical strength. Lopez acknowledged his opponent's background as a triathlon athlete and praised his excellent conditioning. Knowing Claggett had never gone 12 rounds before, Lopez's strategy was to wear him down. He also expressed gratitude for the victory, considering his asthma.
Today wasn't about skills, today was about will strength. I knew the type of fight I was fighting. This guy's a triathlon athlete, for crying out loud. Conditioning is impeccable. And me with asthma, shit, I'm grateful. Look at that, key of the city. Yes, sir, key of the city of Miami. We go anywhere.
Lopez added that he enjoys tough fights because they bring out the best in him, regardless of how his face may appear afterwards. He expressed a carefree attitude about his appearance, emphasizing that winning is what matters most to him. He acknowledged being 26 and still learning in the sport, which he appreciates. Despite any reactions, even from Bob Arum, who didn't seem entirely pleased, Lopez asserted his status, stating he is Top Rank's last star and the best in his field, urging others to accept it.
I like tough fights. Tough fights bring the best out of me. Look, the most punches I ever had and landed in any of my punch count in career. Like, that's amazing. I'm telling you, man, that's amazing. I'm proud of myself just for that. I don't care how my face look. It's a fight. I said I did well. He don't look too happy. I don't care. Like, I'm your only last star available, and that's it. You know, so you just gotta deal with it. You know what I mean? You gotta deal with it. I am the best, forget the rest.
At 140 pounds, Lopez is currently 5-0, although he hasn't been stopped in all of his fights. The 140-pound division includes notable fighters such as Devin Haney, Isaac Cruz, Liam Paro, Jose Ramirez, Jack Catterall, Regis Prograis, Alberto Puello, Gary Antoine Russell, Rolando Romero, and others. In addition to matchups against lightweight Gervonta Tank Davis and welterweight Terrence Crawford, Lopez is eager to challenge WBA title holder Pitbull Cruz next. Lopez expressed readiness for upcoming challenges, mentioning Tank and Cruz specifically. He highlighted that fighters like Claggett present unique challenges, improving his ability to handle similar styles in the future. Lopez noted that Cruz, similar in some ways to Claggett but smaller, would be his next opponent. He emphasized that such fighters are rare, as most opponents typically box rather than engage in aggressive styles like Claggett's.
I'm there, man. You know what I'm saying? Tank, whatever the case is, they haven't faced fighters like this in a long time. Isaac Cruz was the only one and gave him all the way to 12 rounds. And a lot of people felt like he lost. So for that essence, man, I just think like, hey, Tank, whatever the case be, I love the way it is. Like, God makes me sometimes look subpar if that has to be that case, so these other chumps could come in and jump in the gun. That's it. You know what I'm saying? We love to fight. I don't care. Like, shit, I'm going to get my hand raised. I guarantee you that. I guarantee you that. So, hell yeah, I'm ready for it, man. I'm excited. Now I know how to face fighters like that even better, on a better standpoint. You know what I mean? Just more conditioning, more track work, and that's it. You know, I think this gives everybody a more opportunity to jump that gun. But let's see how they do once we start clacking them up. So.
Lopez presses on despite turmoil in the 140-pound division. Beyond the Ryan Garcia-Devin Haney controversy, the weight class experienced a significant upset. Down under, Liam Paro defeated the formidable Subriel Matias. He recently spoke about his career journey and the numerous difficulties and challenges he faced. It's often observed that in such expansive talks, some sore points inadvertently come up while others slip by. The Teofimo Lopez chat was no exception. As he narrated his life, the world champion found it difficult to let some unpleasant matters slide. One of his biggest disappointments was encountering a few famous names of his generation, who, according to him, made Faustian bargains to get ahead in life. The trio's conversation took an intriguing turn when they delved into the significance of failure as a blueprint for success. Lopez emphasized that success often hinges not on money, but on cultivating enduring relationships, which can propel one to greater heights. Expanding on this, he described how his clean public image has garnered widespread endorsement opportunities beyond the boxing ring. He highlighted receiving considerable acclaim and recognition internationally, underscoring that achieving this level of success demands relentless effort and unwavering faith. Yet, contrasting perspectives exist on the other side of the spectrum. But I feel like people that sell their soul as you just want it quick, he said. However, he promptly questioned, why would Lucifer pursue someone's soul? Emphasizing the need for contemplation, he clarified that in reality, Lucifer doesn't care. He said, he does this on a constant level, bro. He gives you the cars, he gives you the money, he gives you the fame. However, no one realizes that it all comes at a price. In The Takeover, it's depicted that one pays not just with their soul, but also sacrifices numerous other things, as Teofimo Lopez illustrated with real-life examples. He said, I've seen it with other fighters, I've seen it with other people that I grew up with in the amateurs, Tank and them, and it's sad to see how they've turned around, but I get it. Part of me thinks about it like, yeah, you've struggled, but you kind of quit when it got really hard. Many fans may still be unclear about what prompted the Brooklyn-born boxer to critique the worldview of some of his peers. However, it's widely recognized that Gervonta Davis and Teofimo Lopez have a shared history dating back to their amateur days. Since the leaked footage of their sparring session, through the rumored attempt to arrange a fight between them, and now with Lopez back on Davis's hit list, much has transpired between the two. Curiously, they've both lingered in the same division for quite some time. Despite this, their interactions have been limited to mere shadowboxing. We are not certain if the recent rant from The Takeover aims to catch Tank's attention or set the stage for a future big payday. How will this unfold? Will Davis agree to move up a division or stick to his usual tactic of seeking a catchweight fight with a rehydration clause? Will Teofimo Lopez agree to these terms or return to the 135-pound division? Many questions linger, but answers may not be forthcoming, at least not yet. On the other hand, Anthony Taylor recently said, I'm going to say that Teofimo Lopez will never be as good as Tank and Haney. Taylor's assertion that Lopez will never reach the levels of Tank and Devin invites scrutiny and debate. While each fighter possesses unique strengths and achievements, comparing their potential and future trajectories remains subjective and open to interpretation. Taylor's comment underscores the competitive nature of boxing and the high standards set by fans and experts alike. As Lopez, Davis, and Haney continue to navigate their careers and pursue championship glory, their performances inside the ring will ultimately determine their legacies and contributions to the sport. Similarly, Leonard Ellerby recently said, Bob Arum understands how to build fighters. It's a process. Everybody can't be Tank Davis. We did that shit and doing it. It's like that motherfucker would love to be in business with a situation where he is generating revenue. He hadn't got there yet. He got some good fighters, but everybody can't be an attraction. It's a process. Ellerby further added, Teo's a very good fighter. Shakur is a very good fighter. Wish them the best of success in their next events and what they got moving forward. But everybody can't be an attraction. Along these lines, he went on to praise Gervonta Davis. He said, it's hard as hell to generate fan interest. That's why you have boxing stars and everybody can't sell out venues. Boxing is entertainment. But one thing for sure, Davis is a badass dude. Make sure to check out some of our other videos on the screen if you enjoyed this one.